some people, it's bugs. For other people, it's the dark. But for me, it's the cold. I can't stand the cold. Right now, it's warming up, but when I first arrived in Fairbanks, Alaska, the coldest city in America, I was stunned at how low the temperature could get. The second I stepped out of the airport, I could feel my face freezing at an astonishing -40, -50 degrees. I was impressed that people managed to find a way to live in such an extreme climate. And I wanted to know what sort of inventions, what sort of innovations were needed for adapting to the region. That's when I first heard about the tunnels. Every college campus has its own rumors, but the legends at the University of Alaska Fairbanks focus on what's allegedly right beneath our feet. People claim that there are two types of tunnels at UAF: the utilidors and the now abandoned passageways. The utilidors are a series of interconnected and active tunnels that sprawl across the entire campus. They house the campus utilities in a controlled environment, taking the plumbing, heating, and electrical work to hide it away from the cold. The passageways are believed to have been similar, only for the movement of pedestrians instead of utility workers alone. They're sort of like a bizarro version of the utilidors, only spoken about in hushed tones and on the down low. UAF was originally founded as the Alaska Agricultural College and School of Mines, operating with an extremely small population of 6 students and 7 staff members. As the territory of Alaska grew, so did the college. Taking the name University of Alaska in the early 30s, the school found its foothold. But it was met with the same issue I faced when first arriving in Alaska: the cold. A growing campus means more students, more classrooms, and more time spent walking between buildings. With an expanding footprint, administration had to find a way to provide utilities and, more importantly, heat to the entire campus. Instead of laying pipe in the ground, they creatively chose to build upon their roots as a mining school and use tunnels. It's unclear when the first tunnel section was built, but the campus's Division of Design and Construction believes it was built in the late 1930s. These initial tunnels would have been constructed back when there was a power plant where the library is currently located. Statehood in the 50s brought about a lot of growth for Alaska. With more people coming to the state and a greater need for education in the interior, there was a boom of construction on campus. Buildings were being erected right and left, and beneath all of them were the new segments of the utilidors. For a time, things were good. Steam was pumped through the utilidors to heat buildings, and the people above were saved from needing to brave the cold. But a new issue arose. Like many structures built in the mid-20th century, the tunnel suffered from a fatal flaw. They were covered in asbestos. It was just all over the place. Walking through the tunnels may as well have been opting in for lung cancer. It was just a safety hazard. Throughout all of this research, it was unclear whether or not there were tunnels specifically for pedestrians to walk through. The utilidors exist. That's proven, we know that. You can go to the second floor of the library and see the closed-off doorway. But what about the secret passageways for students? My research came to a standstill. I realized that just asking around about rumors might not be the best place to find hard evidence, and I had already wasted too much project time getting really invested in Twitter drama instead of working. It seemed like everyone I asked only had vague ideas or estimates about the campus tunnels, so I had to do some investigation of my own. I headed to the archives hidden underneath the Rasmussen Library to dig up some truth. I had hoped that I'd be able to find maps, diagrams, or explanations of the utilidors and passageways as a whole, but information was sparse. While sorting through some unprocessed archive boxes, I found an interesting note about UAF's architectural philosophy. The architect was firmly against leaning into an extravagant style for the buildings, instead trying to focus on timeless utility and simplicity for the structures. Besides this, there was next to nothing. The utilidors were treated as an afterthought in the design plans, and the pedestrian tunnels, for people to walk through the passageways, they weren't mentioned once by name. I thought I might be at a dead end again. So I turned to the only place left I knew to find a solution. That's right, I found it online. Plain as day, on the UAF Campus Myths and Legends page, the explanation behind the elusive pedestrian tunnels. No one alive today remembers when regular people first started using them, but we know they were popular in the 70s and 80s. You could head right from the Great Hall to the parking lot. It was extremely efficient. Despite being efficient, the tunnels just weren't safe. Rumors of assault and a mix of deteriorating supports and asbestos led to the pedestrian tunnels closing in the mid-80s. There were plans to refurbish them, making them safe for the modern age, but it just never happened. It was too expensive to justify. The utilidors and former passageways are utilitarian solutions to the Alaskan weather. They're meant to protect people from the cold and keep the campus running. Construction on campus as a whole still follows this same philosophy that one architect once set, prioritizing simplicity in design and usefulness. The utilidors have managed to maintain that useful factor, with expansions even happening around 2010, but the same cannot be said for those passageways. Maybe one day, when the weather gets a little colder, they'll consider bringing them back to life, but until then, let's enjoy spending time outside in the warmth. That is, until next winter.
Two lovers forbidden from one another, a war divides their people, and a mountain divides them apart. Build a path to be together. Yeah, I forget the next couple lines, but there it goes. Secret tunnel,